Hello, so it's a few days till Download Festival. I wanted to make this video a lot earlier, but hopefully a few of you that are heading to the legendary Donington site, this will be reassuring or helpful in some way. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I've announced that miraculously I am the presenter for Download this year, so you'll see me pop up on their socials and on their YouTube channel. Huge honour, and yes, one of those are you sure moments, but yeah, real privilege, and I just hope I do a good job for them. Today I wanted to talk about, obviously, festival season. It's, you know, that time when you're meant to be feeling really excited, you're really pumped, really up for it, you're really, you know, just looking forward to the weekend really. But for some of us it's kind of a heady mix of anxiousness, nerves, social anxiety, worry, mixed in with the excitement. So first of all, I wanted to just say, if you feel like that, you're not weird, you're not a party pooper, you're not negative, you're not being difficult or anything like that. And there's a lot of us that feel the same. Some of us are more vocal about it, with some of us it's more obvious, but there'll be a lot of people panicking, whether it's about logistics, whether it's about, you know, who they're going to hang out with when they're there, whether it's how their body's going to hold out. There's a lot of things that can impact how people feel ahead of a festival. And even when I spoke to Rao for our pre-download interview a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the amazing new addition to the site where you can do mindfulness, meditation, breath work, which is a really great thing to add to the site, which is already very thoughtful in terms of just looking after people's wellness in general. Even he, someone that's in a successful rock band who you think, you know, he performs in front of thousands of people, you know, does interviews, speaks on TV, all these sorts of things, book tours. Even he says that, you know, the idea of having so many acquaintances and friends in one space can be a little bit intimidating and daunting. So don't think that you're weird for feeling like that, because you are not. Today I just want to talk about some of the things that you can do to make your experience less worrisome, and just to make sure you're safe and well and just feeling good about your time at Donington and any festival in general really. So for me, prep is key. As soon as anything feels rushed and last minute, that instantly gets my anxiety up here. So if I can prep in advance or make sure I've got everything I need a few days beforehand, I will feel a bit more relaxed, rather than that hour before the train leaves or an hour before the car leaves, you suddenly go, where's that? I can't find that, where's my ID? All that sort of stuff. So just getting ready ahead of time really can just create some stillness and calm, which is very much needed ahead of any sort of travel or going to an event, I find anyway. For me, a big thing is who I decide to go with. I'm not someone that generally feels most relaxed if I'm going with a big group. I'd much rather go with kind of one person that I know very well, that I know is a good event companion, someone that I've done it with before, and I know that they are perhaps understanding of my situation, mine being that I might need to go to the toilet quite regularly, that I might have to sit down, that I might even need a nap, that I won't necessarily be in the mosh pit, all those sorts of things. So it's about finding like a good match for you. If you know you're a party animal and you like to stay till the bitter end, you know, just, you know, hit it hard basically, then, you know, try and find that mate that you know has that same kind of party ethic or ethos as you, and go with them. And then you know that you're not going to be annoying to them, they're not going to be annoying to you, that you're on the same page, and that kind of relieves some stress about, oh, am I being annoying, or am I ruining their day, that some of us have a tendency to feel sometimes. Stay hydrated. I know I sound like your mum right now, and I probably am old enough to be some of your mums, but it sounds one of those obvious things, but I know what it's like when you're at a festival. You're like, I don't want to have to queue for toilets, I don't want to have to leave this spot in the crowd because it's really, I've got a prime view of whoever, insert front man's name or whatever. It's so important to stay hydrated, you'll stay feeling strong and up for it longer throughout the day. You're not going to keel over and faint, you're not going to make yourself ill, you're just going to sustain a lot longer and feel a lot better while doing so. So it's just really important. And don't worry about the P factor, because if you are, giving it some in the pit, then you are going to be sweating it out anyway, so you're not going to be on the loo all the time. So just make sure you're hydrated. And it's even more important if you are on the beers, just to break it up with a few glasses of water, just again so you can sustain for a bit longer, and you're not going to ruin your whole weekend by finding yourself in a muddy ditch somewhere. Another thing for me is, which has been tricky for me over the years doing the kind of work I do, but if you can avoid it, don't bring too much stuff with you, and don't bring too much expensive stuff, because inevitably you will worry about it. You'll worry about it getting knocked, you'll worry about leaving it somewhere. I've lost 2 cameras at festivals over the years with SD cards with all my holiday pictures on them, and it seriously isn't worth it. If you can avoid it, just bring a disposable camera if you can, or just enjoy and live in the moment. Just, if you don't need to, don't do it, and just, I think you'll find that you'll be panicked less about if you're camping. You won't be worrying about that situation as well. So if you can, leave it at home. I've got separated from friends numerous times at festivals, particularly during my first years when I was very young, like 16, 17, 18s, and it was always fine actually, because I always made friends with new people. People take you under your wing at festivals, particularly festivals like Download, where everyone seems to be in really good spirits, everyone's really happy, and I just feel like it's a really good community at Download. So don't ever panic if you do get separated. Just to help yourselves out, or to reduce the chances of this happening, decide between you, some landmarks that if you do get separated, will meet there. Really obvious places that are really easy to find, so you're not going to struggle to find the meeting point if you have been separated. With your campsite as well, find those landmarks around your campsite that make it really easy to work out where your tent is, because late at night you'll be tired, you might have had a few bevies, and you want it to be as easy as possible. And on that note, bring a torch as well, just to make your life a little bit easier. Obviously, these days, it's 2019, there is technological things that can help us be a little less stressed and to give us all the information we need. So make sure you've downloaded the app. But on that note, make sure that you've got one of those, I don't know the technical terms, those extra battery packs to put on your phone so you don't run out of juice throughout the day. When you're filming the sets, when you're taking your selfies, when you're uploading to Instagram, when you're messaging your mates telling them you're in the Danish Quarter or you're at the Zippo stage, the battery goes down quite fast at festivals. So just make sure you've got some extra juice with you, just to reduce that, oh my god, I've got no battery left, anxiety a little bit. Now for me, one of the main things that causes me anxiety about festivals is how my body's going to hold up. My body's very unpredictable with its various ailments, and you just don't know what's going to happen, and you can prep all you like, but sometimes it's just never going to be enough. But I just want to put your mind at ease that there's so many people on site that will look after you, or give you the advice you need or the care you need should anything happen. There's the welfare tent, there's Attitude Is Everything, there's like the dog squad, is that what they're called? There's basically lots of people, there's zone managers, there's lots of people around the site that you can go to and just say, look, I'm not feeling well, I need help. Even if it's just you've forgotten something that you needed, there's also shops on site, there's like the co-op, so if it's a particular food that you need to just keep your energy going, for instance, you'll be able to find it there. So just don't panic, because there's always going to be an answer. I can't think of many situations where you'll be really at a loss at Download. They've just been so thorough basically, so you should be absolutely fine. Make sure you bring all the medication you might need. If possible, have a note from your doctor with you as well, just outlining what the medication is and that it's for you. If any of your medication needs to be kept cool, they have fridges there, so they've really thought about all of these aspects. Anything accessibility related or welfare related, they've outlined a lot of points on the site and on the app, so do go and have a look there, because I'm pretty sure any worries you might have or concerns can be answered there, and there's plenty of people you can reach out to if they're not yet covered, so please don't panic. I struggle a little bit with locations and directions and instructions. I don't know whether it's related to my illnesses or what, or my brain fog. I don't know what it is, but I do struggle a little bit. So I myself am going to study the map a little bit on the site just to familiarise myself with where the main things are, just so when I arrive on site I'm not completely like, this is massive, where do I go? I suggest you do the same. I don't mean revise like an exam and learn it off by heart, but just get, you know, a vague understanding. Oh, has this been in the whole video? Don't you hate that? Just get a general understanding of where the main places are that you're likely to be during the weekend. And if you know that you might need to go to the welfare tent, or if you want to know where the viewing platform is specifically, you might want to seek that out when you're looking at the map. I would suggest just familiarising yourself with the app, getting a lot of the main points in your noggin, so then that's a few less things to think about once you arrive to the site. I know a lot of people probably panic about what they're going to wear in terms of the aesthetic, how they're going to look. And while, yeah, I don't want to look completely awful, I think for me, I've learned after years of doing festivals, it's more important to me to be comfortable and to kind of covered all bases in terms of weather. So there's been years where I've worn uncomfortable and impractical shoes and severely regretted it. It doesn't matter that for the 5 minutes in that Instagram shot they looked better than a more practical shoe might have. I would have swapped that for being comfortable for the whole weekend for anything. So do think about, for me primarily, you know, practical and comfortable shoes is absolutely key, because, you know, it's a big site. If you are planning on seeing a lot of bands in different venues over the site, then you'll rack up the steps on your Fitbit. So do think carefully about what shoes you're going to pick, and the weather is looking a little bit dodgy, so you want to make sure that you have something waterproof or hooded and something windproof perhaps, and just some layers. So, you know, it always gets a bit chilly in the UK in the evening, even on a lovely beautiful sunny day. So just think about that. Like, no one really cares what people look like. Everyone's just having a good time, just enjoying the music at Download. Like, more than any other festival, I'd say that actually people are so in love with just seeing the live music that they're really not taking in what you're wearing too much. So please don't let it overwhelm you or worry you at all. Just do what feels comfortable for you. So there's a lot of people like me that struggle standing for long periods of time, but I don't think you need to worry about, you know, missing out on the Download experience whatsoever. I've had naps during metal bands, I've sat down through a whole set and still had an amazing time. And you'll see, if you haven't been to Download before, you'll see that some people just pitch up in one plot in front of the main stage and just stay there all day, and they look happy as Larry. Like, they don't look like they're sacrificing any level of fun or satisfaction from their weekend, and they're comfortable and they don't have to exert too much energy. So please don't panic at all about, you know, FOMO, as I could say, of missing out, because you're still going to have an amazing time. And actually, you have a cracking view wherever you are because of the slope nature of the site. Even if you're way at the back, it will still be incredible. Like last year, I watched Baby Metal pretty much as far back as you can get, because that's the only place I could get to because their crowd was so big. And we loved it. We had a great time and we had easy access to the food stalls, so I wasn't complaining. Talking about food stalls, again, Download are really good at covering a lot of bases there. They've got vegan offerings, they've got gluten-free offerings, so do scout about, because I can guarantee you'll find something that suits your dietary needs. And like I said, if not, they've got shops like Co-op, so you can tailor-make your own stuff if you need to, so don't panic too much about that either. So last year I was with someone that drove to and from site every day, and actually that was really easy, and I kind of wish I was doing that this year. This year I'm staying at a hotel and I will be taxiing in and out. But I just wanted to say this particularly for girls, but for everyone actually, just to be very careful about, you know, taxis that you get in and out of. Cool official places, and every festival that I go to that I know I'm going to have to get taxis for, I get a card from a proper place and I use that guy and I ring in when I want picking up. I don't just get in a random taxi cab that's waiting around, because there could be anyone and they'll know that there's people, you know, wanting to get home. Just be sensible, ensure that you're as safe as possible, and also tell people that you're in a cab, so people are aware of where you are and that you're going home, so there's no where's Soph gone? Oh, I don't know, I haven't seen her for hours. I'm quite bad at that. I tend to slink out of situations because I don't like doing awkward goodbyes. But even if you just text one of the group that you're with saying, I've got a taxi home, I'll text you when I get in, just so they know you're safe and that, you know, you got home safely. Again, head to the app and the website, because they've got all information about, you know, drop-off points, taxi points, shuttle bus points, all those sorts of things. And just because there's different entrances to the site, you want to make sure that when you give instructions to whoever's driving you or dropping you off, that you're going to the right place. But it's all on there, so I'm not going to bore you with it on this video. I know this is another silly one, particularly when you look out the window as I am now, and it is full on just dark charcoal skies, but sun still gets through the clouds, and I think all the times I've burnt in my life it's been on a cloudy day, because I thought, no, it's fine, I don't need sun cream, and then crispy by the end of the day. So just make sure you've got sun cream in your bag just in case, because British weather unpredictable, as we know, so you just can't be sure. Okay, so just bring your MAC, bring your sun cream, and then you've got it all covered. One thing that I say every year, so it's probably getting very boring, is think about the bag you bring. Now, they've stated on the site that really ideally no bag should be bigger than A4 size, so first of all have that in mind, but also think about the type of bag it is, because I get a little bit worried if I just have a rucksack, because unless the zip's been secured, it's very easy access for people to get into, and I would have no idea about it. I also have a habit of leaving zips open and things just spilling out, because that's just me, that's who I am. So I think ideally, if you can, have a crossover bag that you can always keep an eye on, so you can really see where everything is, whether any hands are coming in. I've never had any issues at download, but just any spaces that have a lot of people in, of course there's going to be some bad eggs within it. So just have your wits about you, be sensible, and you should be fine. And just keep checking up on your bag. And like I said, it's easier if it's right there, or bum bag, fanny pack as well. I've been a champion of the bum bag for many years, even when it was very much frowned upon, and I still very much endorse it. It's really good, and if you're not carrying lots of stuff, it carries all you need. Your phone, you know, your money, your little bit of sun cream maybe, so it's really good. There's also something else I wanted to mention, that if you are in some sort of mobility device or wheelchair that needs charging, they do have charging points at download, which is fantastic. I think they're usually by the viewing stand, but of course there's going to be so many people at hand to help you should you have any questions locating those sorts of things. There's so many more points I could talk about, but I just really wanted to do this video to encourage us to ask questions in the comments and, you know, point people in the right direction, answer any things that they're worried about or don't know about because they haven't been to download before. Perhaps put links from the download website too, so they can read, you know, the official word on those sorts of things. So yeah, if there's anything you're concerned about in terms of download or any festivals in general, do put it below and I'll try to help or point you in the direction of someone that can help. But I think for me the key with all of this sort of stuff is know your limits and know what you're okay with and know what you're capable of. And you have to kind of tailor all these sorts of events and experiences to suit your needs and necessities really. For instance, I know that I'm going to need to sit down numerous times, and that might mean having to separate from the people I'm with for a bit, and I'm okay with that because I'm quite used to that. Some of you watching might need to go back to the campsite to have a nap in between when there's a band you're not that fussed about playing. Some of you will know that you can't really do a whole weekend, so you're just going to experience it for a day. Perhaps that you're not tolerant to alcohol, so you won't be drinking over the weekend, so you'll be seeking out soft drinks over the weekend and just taking it a bit more easy. Some of you will bring seats so you can sit down all weekend. Some of you won't be able to camp and will have spent money on doing hotels instead. So we've all got our different ways of doing it, our different ways of coping with it, and I think it takes a few times sometimes to find that sweet spot to tailor make it perfectly to suit you. And I think I know now how to do it in a way that suits me and to make it workable and comfortable. I'm not saying it's not challenging still, just being up and about and being sociable and being on my feet for that amount of time, it will take its toll on me personally. But I'll know that, you know, as soon as I'm back, I've left that whole week completely free to recover. Hopefully that will be enough. So just be sensible, look after yourself, do all that you can to feel relaxed and prepared and to look after your well-being while you're there. And just, if you know that you need that support from the people that you're with, make sure you've got that and that you've got someone there that is aware of your situation and is happy to be flexible around it and support you through it. So you're not going to feel like, oh, I'm ruining their weekend. They're fully prepared and they're just happy to spend time with you and make sure that you're okay, and vice versa. But lastly, have an amazing time at Download, and any festivals that you're attending this summer. They can be some of the most magical weekends of your life. I do have such a soft spot for Download because everyone seriously seems so open and happy and warm and just having a really great time, and primarily just seems so devoted to the music, which is just always a lovely thing to see. So I imagine all of you are going to have an amazing time at Download, and I can't wait to hear how you've all gotten on. So just enjoy it and have the best weekend ever, come rain or shine. I will go now because I've been rabbiting on like always, and hopefully see you there. Come say hello if you see me. I will be awkward as always, but I'll still enjoy seeing you. So yeah, take care and see you in the muddy field.